Hi everyone, and welcome back to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make these cards, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. Today I have for you my last alternative project made with the April 2020 Paper Pumpkin Kit, My Wonderful Family. So I have used a lot of the elements that came in the kit. And so I just had some leftover pieces that I wanted to use. And so I came up with this beautiful card. Don't miss out on next month's kit. It's going to include some fun colors from the new 2020-2022 in colors. Remember, all of my Paper Pumpkin subscribers will receive an exclusive kit designed by me, and it includes all the paper and embellishments to create 2 cards of one design. The link to sign up is in the description box below. So there are some really fun elements to this card, and it definitely has a different feeling than some of the other cards I've created with this kit. So let's go ahead and get started making this card. So one of the first things you need to do is to create this watercolor background wash. And you're going to start on some soft sea foam cardstock. And this is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. But we're going to watercolor with mint macaron. I like watercoloring on colored cardstock with a darker color ink than the original cardstock so that you can see it better. So I have some ink from Avery Inker in my lid, and I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze and pick up some of that color. And then the key here is just to lay down a lot of water with a lot of ink so that you can kind of see the ink over the colored paper. To clean your aqua painter, just get a piece of scrap paper and squeeze until it runs clear. So we're just going to go ahead and wait for this to dry, or you could use a heat tool to speed up the drying. So when I was using these die cuts, I saw on the back that you can really see the beautiful embossing that's in each leaf. And so I wanted to use the white side of these leaves for a card. And so that's what I've done here. So we're just going to turn this card or this die cut over and use the white side. Now be very careful when removing these leaves. You can do some fun things with the leftover paper. In one of my projects, I used the leftover paper as a stencil. So if you haven't watched that yet, you can find my April Paper Pumpkin playlist, and I can link it up here in the corner. So there's our leaves that are white. And then the other fun thing you can do is you can actually fussy cut this out, and it's going to give you this outline of the leaf image. And that's what we're going to do for this card. So I'm going to kind of give myself about 1/8 of an inch leeway all the way around these leaves. Now you can be generous and you don't need to be too fussy with the shapes. You're kind of doing like a bubble, and you're going to be covering up the majority of it with your white leaf, and so it doesn't need to be perfect. But it is definitely a fun idea, and it gives you a really neat look for the card. Sometimes it can be hard to fussy cut when you have lots of extra paper and it catches on your scissors. And so if that happens, just snip it off. And you can go down as deep into those crevices between the leaves as you want. And then come down that stem and just wrap it around the bottom to make it nice and a nice finished look. Okay, so there's our fussy cut outline of the leaf. And for another element I'm using is kind of a distressed look. So I've distressed the Melon Mambo cardstock behind, as well as brought the corner of this soft sea foam down a little bit. And so to distress that, I'm just taking my pair of paper snips and I'm just going to run it over the edge. And if it tears a little bit, that's okay too. So you're just kind of being a little bit aggressive with the cardstock. Just kind of breaking up those fibers a little bit. Whoops, that one tore a lot. Okay. And then you can bring one of those corners down. And so we're ready to add that to our card base. I've got a card base of mint macaron, and it's just your normal size. I do include all of the products that I'm using, as well as the sizes of cardstock in the description below. So go ahead and add this to your card. And you're just going to place it at an angle. Now my watercolor piece is not quite dry yet, so I'm going to heat it with a heat tool. Now I did forget that I added some splatter, so I'm going to go ahead and open my mint macaron again. I'm going to add a little more ink to the lid by pressing it together. Get my aqua painter. I'm also going to pick up a scrap paper so that I don't get splatter everywhere. I'm going to squeeze to get some water in that lid, and then I just run my aqua painter over the lid of the aqua painter, and then that splatters really nicely. Get a little bigger splatters. There we go. And then you can, again, just squeeze to let the water run clear, and then you can use a tissue or paper towel to clean the lid. Okay, so I'm ready to add this to my card, and I'm just going to use some liquid adhesive because my snail just ran out, and I want to be kind of quick. So this just gets added at an opposing angle. Oh, you know, I did forget to wrap my twine. So because we used snail for this first card, I can go ahead and pull that up a little bit. And I have some twine that I'm just going to wrap around the Melon Mambo and the soft sea foam and just tie a knot. Just match my ends so they're about the same. So once I've tied my knot, I can go ahead and pick up that paper again and slide it over. And then I've got this Melon Mambo that came in the kit, this ribbon, and I'm just going to fold it in half and add it to that knot, and I'm just going to tie another knot over it. Okay. Now I'm going to tie a bow. There we go. So now everything is on my card base, and you can use a bone folder to spread out that liquid glue. And if you want, you can fold down these corners again and any other corners, doing as much distressing as you want. So my outline of my leaf is going to go down first, and I am going to use some liquid glue in just some of these larger areas to add this to my card. And then you can place this down, and it can really go any direction that you want. Next, I'm going to add my leaf, and I'm going to add the glue to the green side because we are going to show it. We want the white side to be shown on the card. And this is going under that twine or linen thread again, and because it's an opposing shape, we're going to be able to see some of both, right? So we have the outline of the leaf and our white leaf. Now you can really use any greeting that you want for this card. I did cut out the thanks from the Seriously the Best stamp set, and you could place that down here if you wanted it to be a thank you card. I wanted to use the stamps from the kit, and so I grabbed the To My Wonderful and Sister. And I actually grew up in a family with only girls, and so I do have some wonderful sisters. And so I'm going to put these two stamps together. And the way I do this is by adding the first stamp and then placing the second stamp on my grid paper so it's lined up with one of these lines. And then when I line up my original first stamp on the lines, then when I pick up Sister, then it all kind of stays together and I know is nice and even. So this stamp is done with Melon Mambo. I just really love that little touch of pink. And I'm just stamping it on a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White cardstock. And then you can trim it with paper snips, but I can never get a straight line. So I'm just gonna grab my paper trimmer and add it and just kind of slide it in so that it looks to be about the same distance from the edge, from the left to the right. And then I'm going to add it so that left edge is over my bow, and then the right needs some dimensionals. So I'm going to place some of these small dimensionals on the right and in the middle, and then I'm going to add a dab of glue to my bow. So now I can just place that over my linen thread and my bow, and I can open that bow up a little bit so I can see both different kinds of ribbon. And then the last thing, if you have any left, you can use a little bird on the end just to kind of have him sit there. And I'm just going to use one of these edges and I'm going to add it to his belly. And then place him just on that edge of that card. And it will also help kind of keep that greeting on the bow. Okay, so that card's all done. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create this card and seeing some of the fun ideas that I came up with using the elements in different ways. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and share. Visit creativechelsea.com for more information about Paper Pumpkin and to start getting your monthly kit. Have a creative day. Bye.